Good morning. I hope everyone's having a fabulous day. This is going to be a super, super special day for everyone out there. I would like to just kick off this episode with thoughts and prayers going out to North Carolina, to everyone out there that is being ravaged by Hurricane Florence. At this point, they're being bombarded with winds and they are being bombarded with, thank you for joining. Thank you. They are being bombarded with a lot of rain. And being that North Carolina is right at sea level, it only takes about 4 or 5 inches of rain at one time to flood the whole state. So, hi, thank you so much. So, I am so great. How are you all doing today? So I just want to send prayers and blessings to everyone out there in North Carolina today. I've been praying for you guys, and I hope you all come through it safe and sound with no casualties. I know you will survive. We just don't want to see any casualties come about from this. So if anyone sends prayers and good wishes to all the people out in North Carolina, that would be super awesome for them. And I know FEMA is on board and they're taking care of. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you so much. They are taking care of everybody. So I just want to take a little minute here today to say thank you all so much for joining this episode. I really do appreciate all of you taking your very valuable time. And thank you so much to join me here and to be a part of this wonderful community that we have here on social media. It is a super awesome community, and you know what? We build and grow. Oh, thank you so much from listening and caring and just sharing with our counterparts here in the world. So I just want to take a minute to talk about different things that I do in my home business. And one of them is consistency. So as you tell by my header, it's consistent. What needs done every day for us to be successful. And for each one of us, that's going to be a different thing. It depends on what your system is and what you're doing. Thank you guys for joining. So what do you need to do every day for your home business? Or maybe you're in a actual business, a brick and mortar, whatever, but there's always a system. There's always tasks that have to be done. Thank you for joining. That have to be done every single day. So, and I know you have a routine. It doesn't matter if you go to a job or where you work, you have things that have to be done every day. Like if you close your business in the evening and go home, when you come back in the morning, you have a list of things that you have to do. You have to get, hey, how you doing? You have to get all the things in order. You have to get the lights on, the alarm turned off. You have to get, maybe you have a storefront where you have to have the cash register. You have to have the cash register turned on. You have to have the money put in. You have to have, things open to be receiving your customers. It's the same thing in a home business. You have certain things that you have to do every single day. So what happens if you slack on doing some of those things? If you just like, oh, I don't feel like working today. I don't want to work today. Unless you have everything in your systems automated, which automation is good and it is fine. I do have a lot of systems that I run that are automated. Yes, consistency does precede mastery. Thank you. I totally agree with that. But if you're consistent in what you're doing, and you've automated those systems, you still have to check those automations. So like I said, I have several different programs that I have automated to do certain tasks for me, like to put out ads. I have an automation system that is doing that, and I have different things that are going to relay to people, but I like to have the personal touch. So I need to check those systems at least 30 minutes every day. Even though they're automated, I've set them up, which took hours to set up. So but I have to keep them maintaining beautifully. I have to keep the flow going. Now, if I miss a day on being consistent in my routine on what I do every day, first thing I do is I do for myself first. I meditate and I do my affirmations and I read and I exercise. I do my exercises in the morning. And you don't have to leave your house just to get your blood pumping. And you could do yoga, you could do deep knee bends, you could do push-ups, whatever you want to do, just enough to get you motivated. And it's a good thing. So I do certain things in the morning, and that's for me to get me centered, to get me on track. And if you're doing that, that is a big plus for you, your business, your family, your whole universe will be going on a flow, a consistent flow. And you want that to happen. And granted, there are going to be bumps and there are going to be hurdles and there are going to be problems that come, and that's just a given. It's just a given. And so you want to keep in mind, make a list of what you need to do every day. And that way you can check off that list as you go. I have a list here in my office. It's sitting right up front here in front of me. So I can look at that every morning and see, okay, what do I need to do? I need to make sure my systems are up and running. I need to, answer any, hello, thank you for joining. I need to answer any people that have messaged me with, a problem or need or whatever that part is. I do take care of that first. And then I'll take a look and see, but I'll make sure all my systems are running first. That is a given, because if your systems aren't running, you're not going to make any money. You're not going to make any contacts. You're not going to be able to help anybody. So if your systems aren't running, you're not going to have a business. So you need to make that a priority. So that is a consistency you need to do. Just like if you're working for a company and you go in the morning and say, you get clocked in and you have certain things that your boss wants you to do. Well, you need to do each one of those things to get the business rolling. So sure, so positive that you can skip one of those things and not fall apart, right? No. It doesn't happen that way, because your boss is going to come by me. Well, did you fill that container? Did you, take out that thing, whatever it was that you had to do? Well, no, you didn't do that. You didn't feel like that was necessary today. What's going to happen to the business? What's going to happen to your job? What's going to happen to your livelihood? It's going to go down the potty is what's going to happen. So you have to be consistent and you have to be precise on what you're doing every single day. Thank you. Because if you're not, it's going to come back and bite you in the tush. Yeah? We all know that to be a fact. And you want to be precise in your speaking too. As you're speaking with people, and you want to make sure you're clear on what you want to do, on what you want to have happen. So if you have like a team, you have people that, are on your team that you need to relay information to. You need to be consistent. You need to speak your words clearly. You need to be consistent on what you are wanting them to do. It's the same thing as a consistency for yourself, is you want to build a consistency for your team. And if you teach the way you are working, if you teach that, then it is definitely a given that you will have more and more successful people on your team. Because if you're teaching and telling people, well, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that, you need to be consistent, you need to be following this step or that step, then you know what? You're not doing it. What kind of an example are you setting? You have to lead by example. So if you're consistent, like if you tell someone, well, to do that better, you need to have an ebook. You need to make an ebook. You need to make, or put that in a PDF and send it out, or whatever it is that your business requires. And then you haven't done an ebook yourself. You haven't made one yourself, or you haven't sent out a PDF. What does that tell the people that you're trying to teach, the people that you have on your team, that they're consistently doing what you are referring to them for them to do, but yet again, you're not doing it yourself. You're not consistently following your own guidelines, your own rules, your own reality, which is something that is very, very important. And we all need to do that. And it doesn't have to be just about your business. It could be about your lifestyle. It could be about your life. Like for example, for that too, if you have, children or grandchildren and they are, they're building your life, you want to teach them to be consistent, follow through on your chores, follow through on your homework, follow through on creating your life. As you're growing, you are consistently building up these young people to be consistent and to learn a pattern and a path that they can take that is going to make them more consistent and more prosperous in their own lives. So you have a huge, huge following here of just family and friends and people around you that are looking at you, whether you know it or not. They're looking at you to see what you're doing and what your success is. And have you ever succeeded at something and had someone say, how'd you do that? How did you make that happen? Do you just say, oh, well, it just happened, just out of the blue, it just came? Stop and think. What actually did you do to make that happen? What were you consistently doing to make that follow through? What were you consistently doing to bring that into play? You had to be doing something, because things don't just fall out of the air, out of nowhere, and come to us. We want it to. We wish it did. But you know what? It doesn't do it that way. We want it to, but it doesn't. So as we are going through our systems and we are making sure, hold on just a second. I have a tickle in my throat today. So if we are doing that, and as we are doing it, we have to be consistent on what we're doing every single day. Like I said, I make a list. I have a list up here. It's up here on my board, up here above my desk. And I have a list of everything I need to do in the morning. And then different times throughout the day, I have different things that I need to check on. Different things I need to do. Like, do I need to put out an ad on certain days? I do certain days. I do a bunch of videos, and I get them all ready. I'll do like 12 or 13 videos in a day, and I have those all spread out for the month, because I spread them out and I do different things. I do different lives, and then there's different broadcasts that I do. So each thing that I do is on my list of things to do. And if I don't know, if I haven't made a note to check that off to make sure it's done, then what's going to happen one day when I get up and I'm on my path and I'm doing my thing, and I haven't followed through and consistently put all of my eggs in a basket to make everything be consistent, everything has to be in place. And I know this sounds a little OCD, it sounds a little overcompulsive, but it's actually the best way to not forget what you're going to do and to build a prosperous team and to help people. If you're doing it yourself, then it's so much easier to teach and to share and to show other people how to do the same thing. It just comes natural when you do it yourself. And not to mention the success you have when you are consistently doing it yourself. So if you're following through on everything that you need to follow through on, you won't have anything but success. And there's ups and downs. We have to admit that. There's ups and downs in everything we do. But the more consistent we are, the easier it is. The easier it is to follow the steps. And it's like a building blocks. The more consistent you are, and you're building and you're building and you're building and you're building, and you're building that foundation, and it's going up and up and up and up. Just like when you're building a building or, a multi-story or a pyramid for that matter, the pyramids have the foundation that's way down in the ground. And then it's layered up, 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 and it's lasted for thousands and thousands of years. Well, as you're building your business, that could be a legacy that you're going to pass down to your children, your grandchildren, to whomever you want to relay and to give that to. They will have not just the business and the finances that go with that, they're going to have what is priceless. You cannot put a price tag on it, which is knowledge. And knowledge is consistency. And when you have that all in one big bundle, then you're a win. It is a win-win-win situation. Hello, thank you for joining us. So it is a win-win situation that you can't go wrong. And I know, because as I've taught, I've lost count of all the people I've taught on different aspects of different projects and different, what was the right word? Promotions and different businesses and different areas throughout my life. I've lost track of all the people I've coached and taught and trained and how to do all these different systems and all these different strategies and everything else that we needed to do. Hello, thank you for joining. So what I'm saying is, you can help yourself to be more consistent. It will, you know what, your consistency, like I said, there's people watching you. You don't even know they're watching you. There's always somebody watching you, whether it be a child. And if a child is watching you and they're silently, their little brains are click, 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 click. And then they see, oh, well, you know, wow, grandma does this or grandpa does that. And they always have things going on and their little brains are click, 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 click. They're always learning and growing and learning and growing. So if you do that and you put it out there, you'd be surprised what will come back one day and they will say, wow. And someone will say, well, where'd you learn that? Well, I don't know, but I seen my grandma do it all the time, so I figured it was probably the right thing to do. That's a given. You help people that you don't even know you're helping because they're watching you. So be consistent in building your business. Be consistent in your lifestyle, in your lifespan, what you want to do. Doesn't matter what your life plan is. It doesn't matter what your journey is. It is your journey. It is your time. But the more consistent you are, the more success you will see and the more impact you will have on the people around you, even the people that are watching you from afar. I'm sure that you have, over the time, course of time, have, done something and had someone come back and say, wow, I seen you do that one time. I thought it was really cool. So I started doing it too. It could be a good thing or a bad thing. It doesn't matter. It's just that if you're being consistent, and hopefully it's a good thing that you're going to put out there to people, then you'll be surprised if people will follow you. And they'll pick up your traits. They'll pick up, what you're doing. And there's a lot of people out there right now, thousands of people out there right now that are wanting financial freedom. You're all wanting to be able to work at our own pace, work from our own place, to work at our own time, to be successful without having someone tell us what to do. Well, if you don't want to have someone tell you what to do, then you have to be consistent in what you are doing, and you being the leader, you being the boss, you being in control and being responsive and responsible for everything you do in life. Everything you do. You have to be consistent, and it's not hard. The hardest part is getting in the routine of it. The hardest part for anyone to learn anything and to gather that knowledge is to get in a routine, to be consistent. It sounds silly, but you know what? It's true. Back in the day, before, I don't remember, I think I was in my teens when I realized that if I didn't do things consistently, I wasn't going to be successful and I wasn't going to be prosperous. And I started doing exactly that. Now, I've been on my own since I was 16. And I know it's an early age to learn these lessons, but you know what? They've paid off. And I've learned a lot of lessons along the way. And the most powerful lesson I've learned is to believe and to be consistent in the good that I'm doing and that I'm learning, and to pay it forward. Like I said, I've been on my own since I was 16 and actually learned these lessons. So, and excuse my pop-up little boogers here. They're just all over the place. I thought I had those blocked again. Okay, guys. Consistent, what needs done every day for us to be consistent in our lives. Everyone has a different list. Everyone has a different life path. Everyone has a different motive or a different want, a different need, a different life plan. So I encourage you all to make a list of what you need to do every single day. Be specific. Give yourself times that you need to have it done by. And I give myself time limits in between each one on what I need to do. So if you do that, and you'll find that it's hard at first. It is very hard to change a routine when you don't have a routine. To implement a routine is even harder. But you can do it. I know you can. Because you're here. You're listening. This is all mindset. It's all motivation that is brought a lot of us out here, to financial freedom, to financial security. So I know you can do it, or else you wouldn't be here listening to me tell my stories and to give you guidance, to give you insight as to what I know works. So I hope you all have a super fabulous day, because you know what? It is a great day. And again, I know I said this at the beginning, please send a prayer out to the folks in North Carolina that are being bombarded with the winds and the rain from Hurricane Florence. I send all my prayers and good wishes and thoughts out to you guys. And I know you will survive. And I know it is going to be a long road to recover. But you know what? We'll just send our prayers and good wishes to you. Okay? I will chat with you all again later. And again, guys, be consistent. Okay? I will chat with you later. Bye-bye.